Having limiting beliefs about yourself does exactly what it says. It limits your belief that you can achieve and do the things that you set out to do. Yeah? No matter what your aspirations are. In other words, we stop ourselves doing what we want to do. Sounds crazy, right? Well, it is. So this video explains how to manage your limiting beliefs, so you can now help yourself to do the things that you want to do. So let's crack on. There's a lovely phrase in life, whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you'll always be right. And it's attributed to the Henry Ford who invented the Ford motor car. And it's just so true. Let's give it a go, let's practice it. Let's try it out on ourselves. So for me, since the age of 12, going to secondary school, I always promised myself and always wanted to learn a foreign language and be able to speak fluently a foreign language, say Spanish, German or French. So 40 years on, do you think I can now speak fluently a foreign language? So who said yes and who said no? If you said yes, well, thank you very much. That's very kind of you. Unfortunately, the answer is no. Why? Something I've always wanted to do. I just don't believe I can do it. I just don't think I'm capable. I just think I'd look silly. I think I'd go to that country and try it and get it wrong. I just do not have that belief. And also, yeah, that risk of taking on such a project and not doing it. These are all my limiting beliefs. So what are yours? So what have you stopped yourself from doing with your limiting beliefs? Think about it. You may like to do a little list. Yeah, be honest with yourself. So how can we change this and manage our limiting beliefs so that we can do what we want to do? Now this is really important, and I've got 5 key steps to this. You may want to stop the video at different times and go back through them, but yeah, please go through them all and this will make a real difference, I promise you. So the first one, step 1, is to think about your successes and the challenge you've overcome. Things you set out to do, career-wise, work-wise, life-wise, hobbies, challenges, you know, climbing up mountains, cycling, swimming, music, whatever. Yeah, these are the things that we can learn a lot from. In my case, it's setting up my own business, cycling up mountains, which I love, write a book, which I never thought I would do. There's an example of it. My own YouTube channel. These are things that I didn't think I could do, but I set out to do. So how did I do it? And how did you do those things that you've done? And this is really important, to sit down and look at our successes and the challenges that we have overcome. So we've had a look at the challenges and the successes, so that's step 1. We're going to come back to that in a moment, but step 2 is really important because it goes alongside it. It's the realisation, and I use that word again, the realisation that despite all the posts on social media and all the posts that if you do these 3 steps you'll be successful for the rest of your life and everything else, that nothing really requires any effort. It just can all easily be achieved and attained. Well, it doesn't work. You have to work at these things. So think about your successes and challenges. Well, if you've done it before, you can do it again, so it's a good start. But unlike those social media posts, you have to work at it. You have to set goals. You have to learn new skills. You have to create that positive attitude. Put energy and time into it. You've tried really hard. You came out of your comfort zone. You've prioritised, you've planned, you spoke to others for help. And these have helped you achieve your challenges and your successes in the past. We might need these exercise or these activities to do later. These actions. They're really, really quite important. And what you may like to think is, how can you use these on the things that you do want to achieve? So it may be time to start thinking about some changing of our habits and doing those things that we've done in the past, but on the new things that we want to do for the future. Okay, so that's the first 2 steps. We're going to deep dive into this a bit further now, so please stay with us. This is really important. Step 3 is all about telling your negative assumptions about yourself to take a hike. Yeah, I can't do this, I'm not good at that. So this is really quite important in this whole process. So as step 3, think about and write down what you're good at. Yeah, what's gone well? What are the facts? What are the examples that you can't argue with? Write them down in a book and get your brain to believe those. Hey, this is what I've done, this is what I'm good at. If you need any help, ask a friend or a colleague. But it's very important you start changing your mindset to the assumptions about yourself, because that is what is growing your limiting beliefs. If you don't change your thinking about yourself, you're encouraging your limiting beliefs to take over the mind. So we've got to work at this. Focus on what your strengths are. This is important. We spend too much time in life worrying about what we're not good at instead of enjoying what we are good at. This will help, as I say, to start managing your self-beliefs about yourself, and you can have more positive beliefs instead of the negative ones and the limiting ones that we're talking about. So that's really quite important and will make a big difference. So that's step 3 for us. So it's great to see that you're still with us, and because of that I'd like to offer you a free download in the link box below, and that I'm sure you're going to find really helpful in helping you to manage your personal development and future-proofing yourself for the rest of your career, so you always stay relevant and value. And obviously having limiting beliefs and managing that is a real key area of that. So please download that. So let's crack on. So step 4, what is it that you want? What is it you want to achieve? And this is important to reflect on a regular basis, because then we can put the thinking to the right activities and to achieve the right outcomes. So we know that we've had to put lots of effort, we've had to talk to people, we've had to learn new things and, challenge ourselves in the past, and we've got to do it again. So what stops me? Well, we sort of answered it so far. We've worked out what it is we want to achieve. We realise it's the hard work and all those other activities from step 2. But what really stops me? Well, it may not be necessarily just those activities, but it also may be me having to change me. Yeah? Do I need to change to become what I want to be? So do I need to actually become perhaps, more assertive, more resilient, more focused, more calm, more organised, more proactive? Now, is that stopping me from achieving what I want to achieve? It's because I've got to change myself, and it's what I need to become to achieve what I want to do. So you might like just to re-watch that and just think about that, because that's really quite important as we move on. So we've got a bit of a choice here. Do you want to do those actions that we've discussed before in step 2? Yeah, or is it that I don't want to have to work at changing myself and to become what I need to become to achieve what I want to achieve? Yeah, as I said, it's a choice. But to help you, ask yourself this question. Yeah, what would it feel like if it was possible for you to achieve what you want to achieve? So how would it make you feel? Well, others can do it. Yeah, other people have made money. They've got that dream job. They've enjoyed themselves. They've learnt new skills. They've achieved challenges. Yeah, set up their own businesses, taken on new hobbies, taken on new relationships, taken on financial commitments. So it's possible. It can be done. So why can't we do it? Well, there's something inside us stopping us, and we need to explore that under step 5. So step 5, this is the real answer. Is it possible for me? Yeah. Now, what is the resistance that you're facing from yourself? What's stopping you going? Is it fear and is it risk? And this is more likely the crux of the whole matter in managing our self-beliefs. Are we prepared to take on a bit of fear and a bit of risk? Now, believe it or not, limiting beliefs are good for us. They're a positive. Wait, sorry, I thought this is about how to manage them. Well, they're a positive because they're there to protect us from coming outside of our comfort zone, to look after us. So we don't get faced with fear or risk. But as we know, nothing in life is achieved without a bit of fear and a bit of risk. And this is really important. So it may be that you've got to plan a party. Well, there's a risk that people won't turn up. There's a fear that people won't enjoy it. There's a presentation I've got to do. There's a risk that they won't take on my ideas. There's a fear that I'm going to make a fool of myself. Planning a holiday. Well, there's a risk that something's going to go wrong. There's a fear that, you know, the plane's going to not turn up and it's going to all get delayed. It may be a new job and there's a fear of going into the unknown, and there's a risk that I won't be successful. Or setting up a business. Well, there again, there's always going to be a fear and a risk. So what we've got to decide is, what level of fear and risk am I willing to take on? And can I accept that? Let me just say that again. We've got to think about what level of risk and fear are we willing to take on, and can I accept that? Because if we said there's a risk and a fear to everything in life, we've got to decide what we're prepared to manage for ourselves. So now we've got it down to this fear and risk. So we're now looking at what we can control and accept, which I like this because I love controlling the controllables. This helps us to work on limiting belief that help us to take on the risk or the fear. We can't avoid it, but we can now work on it. As we said, we've gone through this process before, yeah? We've done it before, we can do it again, and all of those activities. So how do we actually make this stick now for the future? So go back to step 2 and think about all those actions that we needed to do to put into place to help us to get what we wanted and where we wanted to go before. And what level of fear and risk were we willing to take on? What level of risk and fear are we willing to take on now going forward? It's a choice, but we do need to develop our habits in this. And these can be learnt. You've done it before, you can do it again. So we've covered a lot there in these 5 steps. So please re-watch the video and follow the 5 steps again. Make some notes as we go along because it all goes together, okay? And it'll help you in your confidence in managing your limiting beliefs to achieve what you want. And you're worth it. You deserve it. Why not? But the big takeaway I really want you to think of is just to remember, what amount of fear and risk am I willing to accept, manage, take on, and come out of my comfort zone into my challenge zone? Okay? Remember, nothing in life is achieved without an element of risk and fear. So yeah, we've got to go and learn to enjoy that and embrace it. So enjoy the journey, enjoy the learnings. Yeah, you deserve it. So thank you for watching. I hope that's been of use to you. So please subscribe, please like the video, and I look forward to seeing you on our next video very shortly.